Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Ties That Bind DFW podcast. I'm your host, Amber Monroe, artist, speaker, and women's ADHD and neurodivergence confidence catalyst. My goal is to foster unity within the community by sharing stories that inspire hope, passion, and resilience. I also like to spotlight local businesses as well. In a world where there's so much focus on the divisiveness of social media, and not everything you see in the digital world is even authentic, I'm here to bring the real. The views and opinions of my guests don't necessarily reflect mine or those of the Ties That Bind DFW podcast. All right, let's get into it. Guys, I am so excited to have a wonderful lady here. Her name is Madi Rueda. She is actually going to be on my spotlight panel for the Becoming Her Confidence Redefined Summit that's coming up soon. She talks about her OCD diagnosis, being a mother, photographer. She also talks about her documentary style photography, which I hadn't heard of before and is actually pretty amazing. All right, without further ado, I'm going to stop yapping and let's get into it. Today's episode of the Ties That Bind DFW podcast has been brought to you by Reflections Adult Coloring Book with Affirmations. 50 whimsical and wonderful hand-drawn pages of beautiful and diverse women. 50 inspiring daily affirmations focusing on celebrating differences, self-love, beautiful ethnic hairstyles, and body positivity. This book was hand-drawn by me and submitted to Amazon. Remember, the things that make you different are also the things that make you beautiful. To purchase this book, visit the link in my bio or via the links in this podcast. Thank you so much for listening and watching today. Have a blessed day.
Tried to bury her voice, dim her flame. Told her she'd fall.
Madi, go ahead and introduce yourself and just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Madi. I'm the photographer behind Candid Chaos, so where my vision is really to photograph families as they are and not just our picture perfect social media, the stuff that you normally see with the happy smiling faces. Of course, I want everyone to be happy, but really just kind of inspired by what happens in my own life and those moments that I treasure, those moments where you pull your phone out to take a picture because your kid's doing something cute, things you don't necessarily think about documenting professionally. So that's really the vision behind my business, is to take those photos and elevate them and make them artful, something you would want to hang. It's been a really exciting kind of adventure for me, and also has given us the opportunity for families who have children maybe with special needs or medical complexities to have images that really show, what their daily lives are like. It's really cool.
Yeah, I love that. I follow you obviously on social media, and your pictures really do tell a story, and they're beautiful. And the way that you capture those moments is really something special and unique, that I like, and it immediately caught my eye. And I was like, oh man, what's she up to? Have you always been a creative person and interested in art and things like that? Because you definitely have an artistic eye.
Yes. So I've always really I've always loved art, always appreciated art. I've never been good at, drawing, like you're good at drawing and, creating stuff like that. But I've always loved taking pictures too, did it in high school and on and off. So I kind of just realized over the past year, I was like, oh, well, you know what? That's art. That is art. And it is a way I could make art that didn't require the special
right
drawing talent.
Yeah. Yeah, we all have our various talents, and you are very talented. At what point, as you're finding this new passion, a new talent of yours, at what point did you wake up one day and decide, I want this to be a business and I want to share this with other people? What was that process kind of like for you?
As I've posted or shared pictures from my own life, and always gotten compliments from friends and family about the way I take pictures or whatever, it started kind of occurring to me, even though the photography market is very oversaturated, this is kind of something different. something, no one at least in our area thinks about, you know, let me come document your child throwing spaghetti, or, like those things that you don't think about wanting to
Yeah.
document, but those pictures on your phone that you look back and you're like, oh, you look back and they're super cute. And I was like, well, what a great opportunity to kind of give something different, something meaningful outside of our regular family portraits.
Yeah, that's so true because, I, as a mother, mine are so weird to say I have big kids now, but I do remember those moments and how nice it would have been, to have someone kind of come in and capture that, and Candid Chaos. Like, that's just the perfect name because that's kind of what it is, to carry to what's the word? Document those special moments where, as a mom, and you get this obviously, you're so busy getting things done and there's no one to, because look, we got amazing husbands, no shade, but at least I don't know how it is for you, but I'm not having anybody like, ooh, there's my wife, especially with the kid. You know what I mean? There's no one,
Yes, like that's a cute moment. Let me
doing all those
capture that,
moments
right?
for me.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Like, babe, no, this is really good right now. But yeah, and it's perfect. And I think that's so wonderful that you do that. And it is unique and different. And there are a lot of photographers, and I love that you have that different edge to what you do. Can you kind of go into what it's like for you being a mom? 'Cause, I mean, you've got littles. What's it like? How do you kind of juggle what you're doing with being a mom?
So thankfully with photography, I can really work around, you know, what works for my children outside of, the actual scheduled sessions, what I do at the coordinate care for, like during naps, during slow moments, I can sit down and I can edit, or I can sit and I can message clients back and forth as needed. So sometimes it can be a little harder to juggle, especially with those initial inquiries where, you want to respond fast, like I'm
Right.
attentive, but then, I still have my own chaos going on in the background. You never know, you know. Um,
Yes.
so sometimes it can get harder. Like the past weekend, I had lots of sessions. It's December. Everybody wants family pictures right now, it's that time of year.
Yeah.
And it can be really hard to, to ask for that level of support from people around you. Like, hey, I need you to have my kids like all day so I can run around. I was running around all over Mansfield on Saturday to get pictures for people, um, which is
Oh,
really rewarding. But it can be hard to juggle. And as I'm looking at a week of deadlines and I have stuff to edit, Christmas is coming up, and it can be hard to juggle. And that's when I start editing pictures
yeah.
at bedtime. Sometimes it's late nights, and you know I still do. I'm happy doing what I'm doing
Yeah.
though.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're so good at it. That's that's wonderful and amazing because yeah, it's a juggle. Life in itself is crazy anyways with kids. So the fact that you're able to juggle, people don't like the word balance, but I mean, I don't know, the fact that you're able to balance it, quote unquote, so well and getting it done, and making it work, because balance doesn't equal perfection. I think that's what people get confused about. Doesn't equal
Yes.
perfection. Kind of segueing into well, obviously, you're going to be a panelist for the Becoming Her Confidence Redefined Summit in January 10th. I'm so excited to have you on board. It's an event for neurodivergent women like us with different diagnoses, just, getting out there and having confidence and surviving and thriving in the world. I would love to know, kind of for you to talk about your OCD diagnosis and kind of, what that's been like for you and how people kind of respond to that.
Yes. So, I got diagnosed recently, but it is something that, so like I have struggled with since childhood, but um, OCD doesn't look the way, how most of us think. You've seen my home, not necessarily like perfectly clean. It's pretty chaotic, and that's a lot of times what people picture is like, oh, they're really clean, or you think about like checking things multiple times, like locking the door a bunch. And for me, it just has never showed up that way. It's always been like scary thoughts. Like the first time
Mm.
I can really recognize like one that was like super intrusive that really impacted my life and kind of my family's life was after my first was born. I didn't want to go upstairs because I was convinced I was going to throw him over the side. And it's like a horrible,
Mm.
but it's like it's true, and it's what a lot of people with OCD struggle with. It's not the everything has to be perfectly clean. It's you have this sometimes like violent thought, and then you, in order to deal with that, you have a compulsion. Like the compulsion side of it for me, most of the time is
Mm.
avoidance. So I just won't do the thing. So I
Okay.
just didn't go upstairs, and I lived on my parents' couch with my newborn because I didn't want to.
Oh,
Because with OCD, you don't just. It's never just like the what if. It's going to happen. So you don't live
oh
in the
wow.
what if space. You live in this like you live in this. I'm going to do that. That's what's going to happen. And it can just
Mm.
attach to so many different things. And at the time when I told the person who was treating my ADHD that thought was popping into my head, she said, "That's not an intrusive thought." It's like, okay, but it's against something I would do. So it wasn't true. So for sure, like that is not a true
Yeah.
thought. Hey,
Right.
don't take stuff from her.
No,
Okay. Sorry.
you're hey.
Um,
No, it's all good. I'm waiting for one of mine to come in and ask me to make lunch, so you're good.
yeah. And then, it can show up easily in my photography business. There's a lot that goes into running a business, as you know, like between being active on social media, posting. Um, that can get really hard because, what if I'm doing it wrong? Well, then I'm not going to do it at all because
Mm.
it's either wrong or it's right. Um, and that can be a big
Right.
struggle, or how I say things to people, like making sure I say things the exact correct way. Um,
Mm.
and even down to, probably what is more commonly OCD would be editing pictures. And it's either bad or good. If there's even one tiny thing, my brain's like, well, it's a bad picture, even if it's perfectly fine. Like it's a great picture.
Mm.
There's just one little aspect that
Right.
isn't perfect. Um, and that can be a real struggle in there. And that's why, I do capacity. Um, I have capacity based systems set up for my business and for my editing that I like to use. That is stuff that I have included in my contract,
Mhm.
so also clients are aware. But we'll get more into that at the summit. Kind of the things that I have set up that have helped me run my
Yeah.
business as well as editing pictures. But one of the things that I love that my therapist has said as I've been in treatment is practice makes better versus the practice makes perfect.
Mm.
So just doing it, and it does not have
Mm.
to be perfect.
I love that. No, that's great because yeah, I mean, and that I mean, in life in general, I think people do get hung up on that, on perfection, and obviously, for someone with your condition, it's gonna be magnified and crippling if you if you let not let it, but if it gets to that point. Um, it's interesting and I don't know about you personally, but do you feel that, with having children, do you feel like that maybe accelerated the need for your diagnosis, or do you feel like symptoms kind of came on more so after that? Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, definitely after children, because with OCD, it's going to attach to things that you care about. Um, and a good way to tell an OCD thought versus
Oh, wow.
a
Okay.
Maddie thought would be, does it go against your values? Or is it irrational?
Mm.
Even if I logically know it's irrational, it still causes distress. You know, like what if I wake up one day and snap and hurt
I
one of my
see.
children
Okay.
again against my values? And it's just like sometimes it
Right.
could be like flashes in my head of like poor ways that I would react to a situation, things that I would never do. But then I feel the distress, like what if I did that thing, or what if I did this terrible thing, even though I wouldn't. And it definitely got worse
Mm.
after
Right.
Archer's. That's when I first started having what I would say were like the scary kind of violent thoughts about like, well, I don't want to. I would never hurt my children. Like that is my life. I've done everything I could
Right.
to stay home and be with them as much as possible. Um, and
Yeah.
postpartum definitely can just make those things so much worse. With our second baby, I wouldn't let anybody touch her bottles or wash her bottles besides me because if anyone else did it, it was guaranteed in my brain that she was going to get sick. Um,
Oh,
which it was at that point, after
wow.
several months of struggling with that, that I was like, I have to start talking. Like, I need a different psychiatrist. I need something. There's something else going on. This isn't just anxiety
Mm.
or depression, because compulsions were basically completely running the show at this point, where I had been, somewhat functional. I got to a point where I was like, well, I can't take the children out of the house because one of them is going to get kidnapped. So another compulsion of
Mhm.
avoidance. Like, we can't leave. We have to stay here. It's the only safe
Oh,
space.
wow.
So it can get
Yeah.
very intense very fast. Postpartum, everything can get very just,
Oh, gosh. Yes. Oh, man.
yeah.
Wow.
Um, so that level
Okay.
of intensity with the symptoms is what led to the diagnosis, which I'm really grateful for, because it was, surprising, but at the same time, it was very freeing to know, like, okay, it's not me. I'm not
Right.
totally like off my rocker.
Right. Like, there's a reason and an explanation. I always tell people, I'm like, it's nice to know I'm not crazy. Well, at least not for that reason. It's great that, you took those steps to, getting that kind of help. For some people, that's difficult, for a lot of different reasons. And, a lot of people aren't necessarily even able to do so financially, just depending on what's going on with them too.
Yes.
But I love that, you did that just for you. Obviously, you're my friend and I care about you and your babies and your family. But inspiring and encouraging other women to do so and telling your story is wonderful. And I love that you're doing that. And like I said, I love that you're going to be on the panel. If y'all
I'm
that are listening,
excited.
Maddie's going to talk about, yeah, no, me too. She's going to go into, how she runs her business and, it being a mom and just other things for any woman that, has a diagnosis or might, suspect a diagnosis. It would be great. We'd love to have you there to talk and connect and really, just kind of dig in with this community. And just like I said, on a personal note, Maddie's so much fun and she's hilarious and we laugh all the time. And she used to care for my oldest who is autistic and they have a special bond. So she's kind of already been in that world for a while.
Mhm.
But I guess next up, I want to ask if you've got any other closing things you want to say and or anything you want to promote, any specials. You mentioned that you have a special coming up.
Yes. So, right.
It's like,
Okay, I'm gonna
now's the
pick her up. She's
time I'm going
good.
to speak up.
Yes.
Of course,
Okay.
of course.
So, you say hi to everybody. Say hi.
She's so cute.
Yes, and there's the other one. Say
She's so
hi. Oh,
precious.
this is big here.
Oh,
Oh, okay. There. You say hi to
hi,
the camera.
precious. Oh, hi, babies. Hi. Oh,
They always just want to be
yeah.
included, right?
Yeah, buddy.
They're included in everything. Even
Yeah. Oh,
my
hey.
business, we see a lot of pictures of them, right?
Yeah.
If I expect people to let
Yeah,
me
as
into
it
their lives
should
and be
be.
vulnerable, I got to do it too. Like, yeah.
Yes. Yep.
So
You're so
right now I'm
precious.
working mostly. Hey, okay. Okay, guys. Watch it. Okay, guys. Yeah,
Oh,
watch your movie. Okay. Uh,
right. They're like, this is more interesting.
yes.
Yeah.
Mom stays.
I know, right? Suddenly, it's all
Mhm.
I want to talk about and do. Hi,
Yes.
baby girl.
Okay. Is everyone settled? Okay. So I do have something that I am doing right now. I'm kind of working in a non-commercial phase and really just kind of focusing on the art aspect. I'm still booking regular sessions, but if I have people who want to participate in a personal project, um, I'm doing 90-minute sessions just for the retainer, and it is all documentary style with a couple portraits in there, of course, because we all want those, right? Just documenting whatever your
Yeah.
daily life kind of looks like with kids. I've done some medically complex kiddos. That's one of my favorite things to document for those families. just kind of, their
Mhm.
days look a lot different than, well, mine. Um,
Yeah.
and it gives them
Yeah.
the opportunity to educate about, their kids' condition, what their life looks like every day, feeding tubes and
Mm.
whatever that may look like. Um, it's really a passion of mine, and I love doing it. Even, you don't have any of that going on. It can be a great way to kind of build
Mhm.
memories, and you get to be included in, my website, anything like that, where I really just kind of showcase the art side of what I'm doing.
Awesome. That's great. Yeah. Definitely, you guys reach out to her. I still need to, by the way. I've been so busy, but yeah, you guys will want to reach out to her for this great special that she has, and definitely hit up her page. Where can I'm gonna post links when I post the interview, but where can people find you, like your handle and everything, or your website?
So for Facebook, it's going to be Candid Chaos Co. Instagram is Candid Chaos Photos is my handle. I can say that again if I need to because I know the baby just decided to take a dive. For Facebook, I have Candid Chaos Co. And Instagram is Candid Chaos Photos. Um, my website is candidchaosco at pixieset.com. So you can find the link to the website on both my socials. There's a lot more images and stuff to look at on my website than there will be on socials because that is somewhere that I do struggle business wise.
Yeah.
But I would love to book some more people and document your lives. I would love to come and get you and the kids for sure. That would be just a joy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. That would be awesome. Cool, cool. Well, again, thank you so much, Maddie, for coming on and taking out the time. Obviously, you've literally got your hands full. I know that's cliche, but it's true. Um, but thanks for coming to talk to me and my listeners. And again, very excited to have you for becoming a panelist. I've got 4 panelists that are going to be there. Maddie's one of them. It's going to be a great time, January the 10th, Arlington, Texas. You can find more information about that on pretty much all of my socials, and I'll post a link there on this interview as well. And I want to say thank you to everyone and to be blessed. And once again, thank you, Maddie, for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited for the summit. It's gonna be so much fun.
Yay. All right. Well, bye, everyone. Bye, precious babies.
Yeah, say bye. 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 Oh, other way. Oop. No, say bye. Bye.